Hello friends, welcome to one more video on this COVID pandemic and the questions which arise in your mind in this pandemic. Now a lot of you have taken the COVID vaccine, but the question definitely arises, how do you know that it is working? How do you know that the vaccine which you have taken will protect you from the disease? Is there any benefit of the vaccine and can it be documented? This is something which is a natural question which arises in many people's mind. Whilst there is no standardized government recommendation or even a standardized test which will tell you what is your degree of protection and the certainty of protection, this is a practical video which will guide you what to do to know whether or not you have been, at least to a certain extent, protected from COVID. So there are two types of vaccines, as you all know, available in India. One is the Covishield vaccine, which is prepared by the Serum Institute of India, and the other, of course, is Covaxin. Now, Covaxin is given to minority of people, maybe 5% of the population has received Covaxin. The dominant uh, vaccine which has been administered to people in India is, of course, Covishield. So, Covaxin and Covishield, I will discuss the how to check for immunity, whether it has been developed in you with both these vaccines. So let us first discuss about Covishield, since most of us have received Covishield. Now, when should you check for immunity? So the most opportune time to check for immunity, whether you have been protected from the disease, is 15 days to 21 days after the last dose. That's the earliest you can check for immunity to the COVID vaccine. Remember, don't check immunity of the first dose, only check for immunity after you get both the doses of COVID vaccine. Now, how do you check for this immunity? So, as you all know, the Covishield vaccine does not contain the entire COVID virus. It just contains the spike protein of COVID virus, and therefore when you want to check for immunity against the vaccine induced immunity as opposed to immunity to natural infection, you can't do COVID antibodies. A lot of people have come to me, sir, we have taken the COVID vaccine but a COVID antibodies are negative. Does it mean the vaccination has failed? No. It means that you have not checked for the relevant antibody. So this antibody which you should be checking after getting the COVID vaccine is the anti-spike antibody. Anti-spike antibody. It is marketed by different companies by different names. Now, I had checked my anti-spike antibody using the COVID Protect test from Metropolis, and I got it after like maybe 2 weeks after the second dose. I checked my antibodies, and my antibody level was about 200. Now, the minimum protective level is 15. So anything above 15 is good. But most people after two doses, their immunity is, if their immunity is strong, they will have antibodies level in excess of 200, 300, even 500. So it's very important. Now you will tell me, how does it help you? I mean, of course, right now there is no plan, if your immunity is not strong, to give you a booster dose or some other vaccine to boost your immunity. But we need to know, because at least there is no false sense of protection. For any reason, if you don't develop immunity to COVID vaccine, then you will not at least go and indulge in high risk behavior, with the signs of complacency that you are protected. Secondly, it gives you a little confidence that you are a little protected at least. Also, I would like to have one more disclaimer: none of these tests are standardized, and therefore just getting this test should not be enough. Also, those who don't develop antibodies and are not detected by these tests, even they may be having immunity to the COVID infection by T cell mechanism. There are two arms of the human immune system. One is, of course, the antibody mediated immunity, one is cell mediated immunity. By antibody mediated immunity is what we check in this test. Otherwise, cell mediated immunity is also very robust, and but we cannot check it by these methods. So I think even if you don't have antibodies, you have nothing to worry. You're probably protected after the vaccine, but a high titers of antibodies, I think, does not protect from getting COVID, but definitely protects from severe disease. And hospital admission, ICU admission, and death. So I think this is something worthwhile and something which you should be knowing. There's no need to get COVID tests done, COVID antibodies test done after the vaccination. But if you are getting it done anyway, you should be knowing which antibodies to be tested. And these antibodies are anti-spike protein antibodies. The anti-spike protein antibodies, which are known as Coviprotect from Metropolis, are the ones you should be getting tested. By the way, friends, do get yourself vaccinated. Stay home, stay safe. Thank you. I'm Dr. Kaushal Chhatrapati signing off.